Well, congratulations to Carlton. So I just, Rats aside, they made it a very, very tough one-on-one game today, which is just terrific for us. And I know there seemed to be a lot of mistakes from my point of view. I thought we made a lot of mistakes today. I don't know whether we really adjusted to the game. I thought emotionally the boys seemed a little bit spent. And we just never got into a rhythm. So to win the game, as I said to them, there's probably more mistakes made today by our side, and congratulations to Carlton on that. There's a lot of errors made by us because of Carlton, but then there were the ones that we just really butchered. And to get over that, I think mentally we won more about we found out more about ourselves today with the mental strength. The greatest pleasing thing was that we won the 4 quarters, albeit very small, but kept on going against a side that really challenged us greatly virtually all day. So I don't even know what your question was, but there it is. Sorry, Pete.
The other part of that bit was especially early, your accuracy sort of seemed...
Very ordinary.
Yeah, it seemed like...
But that was... Not only that, our option taking around the ground, Travis's last one went 20 yards left instead of 30 yards to the goal square. Sherrod Wellingham hit them on the chest twice when he could have gone over the top. Our election of our kicks today were quite poor, I thought. And even the hand pass by Nick in the second quarter, just before half time, really is un-Nick-like. It's a giveaway goal. Didn't happen in the goal square, it happened up the ground. They took it away, it's a goal. He knows, we know, we're going, oops. But that was just a snapshot of other areas of the game that we just gave the ball back to them far too often. And their pressure caused a lot of turnovers, but when we had opportunity, we didn't take that opportunity.
You say they were emotionally spent.
I think it's been certainly a big couple of days with Heath and Nick, and I pay credit to our players because this happened yesterday. This is not Monday, Tuesday where you get over it. This is on the eve of a game of football. I've seen this happen before, not the same circumstances, but similar type of result, and we just think that those that haven't played and those that played a long time ago, sometimes me included, you sit back and think, well, they've just got to play good football, but that's not the case. These are young men who have emotions like anyone else, and a bit of a roller coaster late in the week doesn't help your preparation for a big game. We, for all intents and purposes, could have gone home last night thinking, well, we've got another day to train because we need it. With 80, 90,000 people. How many people?
85.
That'll do. So I was near enough. So it seemed to be a secondary event. All of a sudden we got here today and we're playing Carlton. It's very hard to coach something in that because your mind, no matter how well you can be trained and how strong you are, is trained on thinking about one of our teammates. And that's the credit of this game. I thought this is as good a win as we've had under the circumstances.
Did you ask them, instruct them to not think about it in the aftermath of that, or was it to leave that up to them?
Don't think about it. So what's the first thing you do? I say when you say don't think about it, what's the first thing you do?
Is it the best performance from Giles since he's coming back? You seem to be a little more in touch with it stuff.
Sorry, who'd you say?
Darren Jolly.
I thought he was okay. I thought he was okay. He's building. Missed a lot of football. He's building very well. Highly professional player. Covers the ground well. Massive heart. Clearly, Arizona's done him the world of good. But also, on top of that, I think that he's want to be as good as what he can be. A lot of pride, so he'll just keep getting better as the year goes on. With 7 games before the finals.
Talking about the distraction factor, was it harder because your team leader was one of the players involved? There's 2 players with these things happened previously. When it's the actual captain, albeit he's the less.
It doesn't matter who. our motto is side by side. It doesn't matter whether it's your captain or your 45th player.
Nick, you spoke yesterday about how it was difficult at times last year with players like Lockyer and Medhurst, getting them back into the team.
Yeah.
You've got a key defender now who's going to be out, well, a key member of your defence is going to be out of action for 8 weeks. Comes back first week of the finals. How hard is he going to find it to get back into the team? Just on that absence.
Yeah. That's a fair point. I think the difference is that the players that were out last year weren't in great form, and that was so they had to find form at the VFL level. Heath has been in good form, and he's relatively young. There's vast differences in the circumstances, but point taken that this is going to be a great test of Professor Butterford and Heath and his teammates, and anyone else who's out, being in that position to find the workload that's acceptable without breaking him down, but also breaking his mind down, because it's going to be a long haul. But we will structure up, and I'm sure that David will get it right, as he has done in the past with all the players. But that's the point of that matter is that today I'll use these: Fasolo, Keefe, McCarthy and Rounds are all in the category that we perhaps didn't use last year, young men. And they will shuffle back and forth. There's no question about that, because their form is good but can be patchy, and we've got players playing tomorrow in Wangaratta that we want to have available and want to play with seven to go. It's a massively different circumstance between VFL and AFL, pressure-wise, but also they don't have the number of games. They have buys which are not necessarily helpful, and the season's not as long, and we're third bottom. So unless some get struck down with not wanting to play finals, we're going to be a victim of the side that's out of the final series and have to work. So this is where Heath will have some company. Probably 5, 6, 7 or 8 players by the end of the year will be on the list, tested to get up and ready for games between now and the end of the year.
You talk about the mental side of it with Heath. He strikes me though as a sort of bloke who will attack it with...
Oh yeah. No, he won't have any fear of it. The workload, you mean? Oh, no.
Just being out of action for 8 weeks.
No, he will commit himself to it. There's no question about that. But we have got a very good system underneath that can support, and we've got players coming back off injury, so he can work pretty well with, like Alan Didak, Chris Dawes, Dane Beams. There's 3, for instance, that are on the cusp of coming back over the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then those young men, I didn't name them, but they're playing with our second side tomorrow, our VFL side tomorrow.
You had a meeting yesterday. Eddie has said that he thought the meeting went well. How did you think the meeting went?
No, I'm not talking about that. This is Collingwood versus Carlton.
Is it difficult, Nick, or is it a tactical thing to wait until late in the last quarter to use those design?
It's like you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. We had a couple of boys that were pretty sore out there, so I refer more to David in that circumstance from about halfway through the third quarter to that 5-minute mark, 6-minute mark, just to see who is on the cusp, who is ready to make change. By the end of the game, we could have used the interchange on 3 of our blokes that were very sore, very, very sore. And in fact, the bench was loaded and they had to go on. They had to go on. So they had to go on injured. So how long do you hold the player? I would have liked to have had Fasolo come on halfway through the third quarter. The player I was going to replace him with actually went all right and someone else fell away badly, and you think, well, I'm glad I actually saved it for the extra couple of minutes.